I don't want her on my team. The statement bounced across the secure briefing chamber at Naval Special Warfare Command as Commander Mark Reynolds glared at the personnel folder that had just been slid onto his desk. Petty Officer First Class Claire Donovan, 26 years of age, cold blue eyes, shoulder-length blonde hair tied neatly in regulation style, and a sniper qualification record that had broken every benchmark in SEAL history. But Reynolds had led special operations units for 15 years, and not once had he integrated a female sniper into a SEAL detachment. When intel revealed that a major terrorist leader was plotting a coordinated strike meant to kill thousands of defenseless civilians, Reynolds' squad would be sent into hostile ground to remove the threat. What he didn't realize was that the mission would collapse disastrously, trapping 12 of America's top warriors under heavy fire, with no exits and no reinforcements. In that desperate hour, Claire Donovan would learn that the deadliest weapon in any fight isn't cutting-edge gear or sheer firepower. It's the sniper dismissed by everyone, delivering 8 flawless shots that would keep 12 teammates alive and rewrite everything. Petty Officer First Class Claire Donovan had been battling for her place in the SEALs since the moment she earned her sniper badge 2 years earlier. At 26, with piercing blue eyes that could lock onto targets at 1,200 meters and steady hands that never faltered under pressure, she had proven herself in every drill and evaluation the Navy demanded. But proving herself in exercises was not the same as being accepted by the warriors who would decide if she ever saw real combat. "Donovan," announced Master Chief Victor Ramirez as she walked into the briefing chamber at Naval Special Warfare Command in Norfolk, Virginia. "You're being assigned to SEAL Team 3 for a top-priority classified mission. Commander Reynolds will brief you on operational details." The reaction from Commander Mark Reynolds was instant and expected. He looked at her, then at the file again, his expression suggesting he doubted the judgment of whoever had approved this assignment. "Master Chief," Reynolds said slowly, "I asked for the top sniper available for this op. Are you certain this is the correct file?" Master Chief Ramirez, a 23-year veteran who had faced more combat than most men could even imagine, locked eyes with Reynolds firmly. "Commander, Petty Officer Donovan holds the highest sniper qualification marks in SEAL records. Her results in advanced training have been outstanding. She is exactly what you requested." Reynolds reviewed Claire's credentials again. Elite sharpshooter with multiple weapons, 98% accuracy at distances beyond 1,000 meters, flawless scores on stress-fire drills, advanced tactical instruction, and psychological assessments showing superb performance under pressure. But she was also a candidate who had never joined a SEAL unit in combat, never been tested in a true firefight, and never taken part in an operation where national security hinged on success or failure. "Donovan," Reynolds asked at last, "what's your actual combat history?" Claire had braced for this question, yet it still cut deep. "Sir, I've had extensive instruction in simulated battle zones, advanced precision shooting under stress, and I've finished every phase of SEAL sniper training with distinction. I'm prepared for any mission assigned." "That's not what I asked. Combat time, live rounds, enemies returning fire, life or death stakes where one slip costs teammates their lives." Claire held his stare without flinching. "None, sir. But every sniper eventually faces their first mission in the field. I'm ready for mine." Reynolds glanced toward Master Chief Ramirez, who gave a small, confirming nod. The assignment had come from levels high enough that questioning it further would be career suicide. "All right, Donovan, here's the situation. Intelligence has identified a high-value terrorist target who's coordinating a series of strikes that could kill thousands of civilians. The target is heavily guarded, operating from a fortified compound in hostile terrain and ringed by security forces that make any conventional approach impossible." Reynolds brought up a secure display showing satellite imagery of a mountainous area with a large compound sited on terrain that gave it natural defensive advantages. "The target is Rashid al-Karim, a terrorist leader who's been developing coordination protocols for simultaneous attacks on civilian infrastructure across 3 countries. He's operating from this compound, which intelligence estimates holds roughly 40 armed fighters with advanced weapons and comms gear." Claire studied the imagery carefully. The compound sat on high ground with excellent fields of observation in every direction. Any straight-up assault would be detected long before attacking forces reached effective range. What's the mission profile, sir? Infiltration and elimination. A 12-man SEAL element will insert at night, move in using stealth, and remove the target along with his communications nodes and operational capability. Your role will be overwatch and precision fire support if the primary assault meets resistance. Reynolds paused, then added, Donovan, this is not a training drill. If we encounter enemy forces, if the insertion goes sideways, if anything deviates from plan, you'll be making split-second calls that affect the lives of 12 operators and the success of a mission that could prevent mass civilian casualties. Claire had rehearsed this kind of scenario hundreds of times, but she heard what Reynolds was really asking: are you ready to go from hitting targets on a range to putting rounds into people to protect your teammates? Sir, I understand the responsibility. I'm ready to do whatever the mission requires. Reynolds studied her a long moment, then nodded. All right, mission briefing is tomorrow at 0600. Deployment in 72 hours. Donovan, you'll carry an M40A6 with match-grade ammo, and you'll provide precision fire from a concealed position roughly 800 meters from the target compound. Understood, sir. One more thing, Donovan. In the field there are no second chances, no do-overs, no instructors to reset the scenario if something goes wrong. The 11 men on this team will be counting on you to perform without error when it matters most. Are you sure you're ready for that responsibility? Claire thought about the training that had brought her here, the hundreds of hours on the range, the countless tactical scenarios in advanced courses, and the knowledge that somewhere a terrorist was plotting attacks that would kill innocents. Sir, I'm not just ready. I'm the best sniper available for this mission. When the time comes, I'll deliver exactly what the team needs. Reynolds' face stayed neutral, but Master Chief Ramirez allowed a small, approving smile. Good answer, Donovan. Don't let us down. 3 days later Claire found herself strapped into an MH-60 Seahawk, carving through the night toward a landing zone about 12 kilometers from the target compound. The SEAL element sat in near silence, each operator running mental rehearsals of the plan while checking kit and weapons. Claire wore full combat load, body armor, night vision gear, comms, survival kit, and slung the M40A6 that would be her primary tool for the operation. The rifle had advanced optics and had been zeroed for the environmental conditions they expected. Commander Mark Reynolds, acting as team leader, keyed his radio for a final brief as they closed on the LZ. Gentlemen, and Donovan, this is it. We insert in 10 minutes, approach via Route Bravo, establish overwatch, and eliminate the target. Intel confirms Rashid Al-Karim is in the compound with roughly 40 fighters and advanced comms gear. Reynolds scanned the team as he spoke. Donovan, you establish overwatch here, he pointed on the tactical map, about 800 meters from the compound with clear fields of fire covering the main approach. Your job, provide precision fire if the assault meets resistance and neutralize any threats that could compromise the raid. Claire acknowledged. Roger, sir, overwatch position set, precision fire ready, priority targets identified. As the helicopter closed on the drop zone she felt that familiar mix of focus and adrenaline that precedes every important mission. This was what she'd trained for, the last 2 years of sniper school and countless hours of prep. But when the bird touched down and the team prepared to disembark, none of them expected how quickly the plan would unravel. The LZ that Intel marked secure was compromised. As the SEALs exited the helicopter, muzzle flashes erupted from concealed positions around the zone. The enemy had detected the insertion and sprung an ambush, turning a routine landing into an immediate firefight. Contact. Contact. LZ is hot. Reynolds' voice cracked over the comms as the team hit cover and returned fire. Claire rolled out with her rifle and began scanning through the scope for firing positions. She picked up muzzle flashes from at least 6 distinct locations around the LZ, far more fighters than Intel had suggested. Donovan, can you ID enemy positions? Reynolds' voice asked through her earpiece. Affirmative. I count 6 enemy positions, roughly 200 to 400 meters out from our location. Engaging targets now. Claire lined up her first shot on an enemy fighter who was directing fire at the SEAL team from behind a rock formation. The distance was 340 meters, with negligible wind and clear sight through her night vision optic. She controlled her breathing, settled the crosshairs on the target's center mass, and squeezed the trigger. The round was textbook. The enemy dropped instantly, removing one of the threats that had pinned the team down. Good shot, Donovan. Keep engaging targets of opportunity, Reynolds ordered as he coordinated the response to the ambush. Claire methodically engaged hostile positions around the landing zone, using precision fire to neutralize threats while the SEALs maneuvered to escape the kill zone. Her second round took out an enemy machine gunner at 280 meters. Her third shot put down an enemy sniper who'd been picking at the team from an elevated position 450 meters away. But the ambush exposed a fact that altered the mission: the enemy had far more fighters than Intel had reported. They were better armed and had known about our insertion beforehand. All call signs, this is Overwatch, came the voice of the mission commander monitoring from a secure location. Intel indicates the compound now contains approximately 80 fighters, not the 40 we expected. Mission parameters have changed. You are authorized to abort and extract. Commander Reynolds, who was coordinating movement away from the compromised LZ, made the call that would shape the next phase. Overwatch, negative on abort. The target is too important, and Intel shows the attacks are scheduled for tomorrow. We proceed with the mission using alternate approach routes. Claire kept providing precision fire as the team moved toward terrain that offered better concealment and approach options to the compound. But the ambush had cost them surprise, and enemy forces were actively searching for the American Special Operations element. Donovan, we're going to need continuous overwatch during the approach to the compound. Can you hold position and provide fire support while we maneuver? Affirmative, sir. I've got excellent visibility on likely enemy positions and can deliver precision fire support throughout your approach. What followed was 3 hours of the most demanding tactical movement Claire had ever faced. The SEAL element threaded through mountainous terrain using advanced stealth techniques while enemy forces swept the area with night vision gear and coordinated search patterns. Claire provided overwatch from multiple positions, moving parallel to the team's route and engaging hostile forces that threatened to spot or intercept the SEALs. Her fourth shot dropped an enemy patrol leader at 520 meters. Her fifth round disabled enemy communications gear that could have called in reinforcements. By dawn the SEALs had reached vantage positions that allowed them to observe the compound and plan the final approach. But the tactical picture had worsened far beyond expectation. The compound now held well over 80 armed fighters, advanced security systems, and defensive emplacements that made a conventional assault extremely hazardous. Worse, intelligence suggested Rashid al-Karim knew American forces were in the area and was preparing to evacuate within hours. Donovan, we need to speed up the timeline, Reynolds said during a short tactical conference. Al-Karim plans to leave before noon, we have to finish this in the next 4 hours or the target gets away. Claire studied the compound through her scope, marking defensive positions, guard rotations, and approach routes the SEALs could use to reach the target building. Sir, I can provide precision fire to neutralize key defenses, but the compound is heavily defended and the assault team will be exposed during the final approach. Reynolds nodded. We understand the risks, the mission is too important to abort. Al-Karim's attacks are scheduled for tonight. If we don't remove him and his capabilities here, thousands of innocents will die. The SEALs spent 2 hours refining the assault plan, picking the best approach routes and coordinating timing so they could reach the target building before reinforcements could respond. Claire's role was critical. She would deliver precision fire to eliminate key defensive positions and enemy personnel that threatened the assault team, enabling the SEALs to reach Al-Karim and complete the mission. At 1,000 hours the assault began. The SEALs advanced toward the compound using a mix of stealth and aggressive tactics while Claire provided overwatch from a concealed position roughly 750 meters out, giving her clear fields of fire over the entire approach. Her sixth shot eliminated a sniper in a guard tower who had spotted the team's movement, a 680-meter shot with tricky crosswinds that required exact compensation, but she made it. Her seventh round silenced an enemy machine gun position that could have inflicted heavy casualties. The target was only exposed through a narrow gap between protective barriers, and her precision found it. The SEALs reached the target building and began clearing rooms in search of Al-Karim. But as they searched for the terrorist leader, reinforcements began closing on the compound from multiple directions. "Donovan, we've got enemy forces approaching from the north and east. Can you engage to slow their advance?" Reynolds asked. Claire shifted her position slightly to gain better angles on the incoming groups. Through her scope she observed roughly 20 fighters moving in tactical formations that suggested professional training. Her eighth shot took out the leader of the northern approach at about 820 meters, the longest shot she'd ever taken in real combat. The round demanded exact calculations for wind drift, bullet drop, and target movement, but her training and instincts let her deliver the bullet precisely where it needed to hit. Eliminating the enemy leader disrupted the reinforcement push and bought the SEALs crucial time to finish inside the compound. "Target eliminated," came Reynolds' voice over the comms. "Al-Karim is down, destroy his comms now." But as the team prepared to extract, the tactical situation collapsed into catastrophe. Enemy forces had encircled the compound while the SEALs were still inside, leaving the assault element trapped with no clear exits. More than 60 armed fighters had taken positions covering every possible egress from the target building. "Donovan, we're surrounded, pinned down inside the compound. We need immediate fire support to open an extraction route." Claire scanned the battlefield through her optic and assessed overlapping enemy fields of fire that made movement impossible without being cut down by superior numbers. From her position roughly 750 meters out she could engage targets the trapped SEALs could not reach. "Sir, I can engage enemy positions to carve a corridor for your extraction, but I'll need tight coordination to avoid friendly fire." "Donovan, you're our only option, we're counting on you," Reynolds replied. What followed was 30 minutes of sustained, surgical shooting the like of which few in modern special operations had seen. Claire systematically engaged enemy emplacements around the compound, using precision fire to eliminate threats and punch gaps in the enemy perimeter that allowed the SEAL team to break out. She neutralized machine gun nests, sniper positions, command posts, and individual fighters who threatened the extraction route. Each shot was calculated for maximum effect while avoiding any risk to the American forces she was supporting. The enemy, who'd expected to overwhelm the SEALs with numbers, found themselves picked apart by a sniper they couldn't find or counter. As Claire provided covering fire, the SEALs fought their way out of the compound through the corridor she had created with relentless precision shooting. One by one, the 12 operators who had been cornered in a hopeless situation managed to escape to rally points where they could regroup and coordinate their movement toward the extraction zone. But their breakout was quickly noticed by hostile forces across the area, and more fighters began converging from several directions. "Donovan, we've got multiple enemy groups moving toward our position," Reynolds called over comms. Roughly 40 additional fighters were closing in from 3 vectors. "We need sustained fire support all the way to the extraction zone." Claire had already been engaged in precision shooting for over an hour, but she knew the mission wasn't finished until every SEAL made it out alive. She continued providing overwatch as the team moved through terrain offering little cover while enemy forces tried to cut them off. Her fire was flawless through the entire exfil. Every round dropped a threat. Every target was taken at the exact moment that gave the SEALs the greatest advantage. Every bullet served one purpose, to ensure 12 Americans survived. By the time the team reached the extraction zone and boarded the waiting helicopter, Claire had fired 37 rounds and hit 37 targets. More importantly, all 12 men were alive, the mission was accomplished, and thousands of civilians would be safe from the prevented attacks. Commander Reynolds approached her as the bird lifted off. "Donovan, what you did out there was exceptional. You single-handedly delivered the fire support that let us complete the mission and get out alive." Without your precision, we'd have lost the entire team. Exhausted from hours of intense concentration under fire, Claire managed a weary smile. Sir, that's what snipers do. We give precision fire when the team needs it most. Reynolds shook his head. No, Donovan. What you did went far beyond normal sniper support. You kept sustained precision fire under combat conditions that would have tested the best veterans. You made instant tactical calls that saved 12 lives and stopped attacks that would have killed thousands. Master Chief Ramirez, who had been monitoring from the command center, was waiting when the team returned to base. Donovan, I've reviewed the mission tapes and the after-action reports from everyone. What you did out there was extraordinary. Commander Reynolds has put you in for the Bronze Star with Combat V, and I'm fully backing that recommendation. Claire reflected on the training that had carried her to this moment, the doubt she'd endured when first joining a SEAL team, and the knowledge that her precision shooting had stopped terrorist attacks that would have claimed countless innocent lives. Master Chief, I had outstanding training, reliable equipment, and teammates who deserved everything I could give them. Ramirez nodded. That's the right mindset, but I want you to understand something. What you proved today wasn't just that you can function as a SEAL team sniper. You showed that the best operator for any mission is the one with the skills, judgment, and resolve to deliver when it matters most. Commander Reynolds, who had once questioned her assignment, approached with a look of genuine respect and trust. Donovan, I owe you an apology. I made assumptions about what you could handle based on bias instead of your actual capability. What you did out there was some of the finest precision shooting I've ever witnessed, from any sniper, regardless of experience. Thank you, sir. But more importantly, you changed how I view team composition and selection. You proved that excellence in special operations has nothing to do with assumptions and everything to do with performance when lives are at stake. 3 weeks later, Claire received orders permanently assigning her to SEAL Team 3 as their primary sniper. The orders came with a promotion to Chief Petty Officer and recognition as one of the Navy's most accomplished precision shooters. Lieutenant Daniel Brooks, one of the SEALs whose life had been saved by her fire during the extraction, spoke for the whole team. Chief Donovan didn't just prove women can serve as SEAL snipers. She proved she's one of the best snipers any of us have ever worked with. Having her on our team makes us more effective and more confident in tough missions. Claire's success opened doors that had long been shut to female operators in special operations. Within 6 months of her combat mission, the Navy announced all positions would be judged by demonstrated skill rather than assumptions tied to gender. She became an instructor at the Navy's Advanced Sniper School, teaching precision techniques to operators from every service branch. Her mission became a case study in precision fire support, studied to highlight the importance of sniper ability, tactical decisions, and sustained performance under extreme stress. But Claire's greatest contribution wasn't tactical, it was cultural. Her success permanently reshaped how special operations units viewed the role of female operators in combat. Debates about physical strength, cohesion, and effectiveness were decisively ended by her record of outstanding performance when it counted most. Admiral Laura Mitchell, commander of Naval Special Warfare, spoke during a ceremony honoring Claire's contributions. Chief Donovan didn't just succeed as a SEAL sniper, she redefined what excellence means in special operations. Her record of precision, professionalism, and life-saving action will guide how we select and train operators for decades to come. Claire's story became more than a mission report. It became inspiration for a generation of female operators who saw that artificial barriers collapse under proven ability, that doubt vanishes when lives are saved through superior skill, and that the only answer to skepticism is undeniable results. Years later, when historians studied the evolution of women in special operations, Claire's mission was remembered as the turning point, the moment when questions about female operators' capabilities were put to rest by 8 perfect shots that saved 12 lives and proved excellence has no gender. The SEAL commander who once doubted her learned that the most lethal sniper isn't chosen by assumption but by their ability to deliver precision fire when everything depends on it. Claire Donovan proved that when SEALs are trapped and close to death, what matters is the sniper who can put rounds exactly where they must go, exactly when they must be there, with the accuracy that brings everyone home. The M40A6 was engineered for precision. Claire Donovan showed she was built to wield it, and in doing so opened the path for every qualified woman who would follow, carrying forward the truth that competence destroys prejudice, excellence knows no limits, and when lives hang in the balance, the best operator is simply the best, no matter what. The impact of Claire's mission spread through the entire special operations community in ways that surprised even the most forward-thinking leaders. Within 18 months of her legendary deployment, applications from women to SEAL training climbed by 280%. The number of female candidates graduating from advanced sniper schools rose from none to dozens across every branch of the military. But the transformation went far deeper than numbers. Special operations units began rewriting their selection standards, moving away from assumptions about physical strength and focusing instead on assessments that measured true operational effectiveness. Training programs that once leaned on brute force shifted toward precision, tactical awareness, and sustained performance under heavy pressure. Master Chief Victor Ramirez, who had fought for Claire's assignment despite resistance inside the system, was promoted to Senior Enlisted Advisor for Naval Special Warfare and tasked with building new integration protocols. His guidelines, informally known as the Donovan Standards, prioritized proven capability over outdated assumptions about operator traits. Chief Donovan showed us our ideas of what makes an effective special operator were often wrong, Ramirez said at a Joint Services Conference on Operational Effectiveness. Gender, size, background, none of that predicted performance as well as we thought. What truly predicted success was skill, judgment, and the ability to deliver flawlessly when teammates' lives depended on it. The cultural change spread far beyond the military. Claire's story became required study in leadership development programs across government agencies, showing how unconscious bias can keep organizations from using their most capable people. Commander Mark Reynolds, who had become one of her strongest supporters, was chosen to lead a new Joint Special Operations training facility, where her techniques for precision shooting and tactical decision-making became core curriculum for elite operators from every branch. When I first met Chief Donovan, I saw limits that existed only in my own mind, Reynolds admitted during his change of command ceremony. She taught me that the most dangerous enemy a leader can face isn't on the battlefield, it's the prejudice that blinds us to excellence when it doesn't look like what we expect. Claire Donovan had proven that excellence breaks every artificial barrier, that competence knows no gender, and that when lives hang in the balance, the only thing that matters is the ability to save them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Major Tom's Tales for more incredible stories like this.